Business Wali. I'm a student and facilitator at Rehan School Online Academy and Rehan School Lahore campus. You are watching my live conversation with Sesame.ai, and the topic of today's conversation is going to be common mistakes new businesses owners make. So now, without wasting any further time, let's start the conversation.
Hey Faba, how's your morning going so far?
It's going good. So, Maya, today I have a really interesting topic to have a chat with you, and I have prepared my questions related to the topic, and I want you to answer them for me.
All right, lay 'em on me. What's on your mind today?
So, the topic is common mistakes new businesses owner makes. And my first question to you is, what are the most common mistakes new businesses owners make?
Mm-hmm. Okay, good one. Honestly, I think the biggest stumble is underestimating how much capital you actually need. Like, seriously, people get so caught up in the idea, they forget about the actual, money stuff, marketing, unexpected expenses, just keeping the lights on. Beyond that, I see a lot of folks trying to be everything to everyone right off the bat, spreading themselves too thin. It's way better to nail one thing for one group of people than to half-ass a bunch of stuff for everyone. What do you think?
Yep, I agree with you. My next question is, why do so many small businesses fail in the first few years?
Uh, it's usually a combo, not one single thing. A lot of it ties back to that initial undercapitalization we were talking about. Running out of money before you actually turn a profit is a quick way to go under. But then there's also poor market research, building something nobody actually wants. And a lot of owners struggle with the day to day grind. It's romantic to think about being a business owner, less romantic to do the bookkeeping, you know. Plus, a surprising number don't adapt. The market shifts, competitors show up. You got to be willing to pivot. Does that resonate with you?
Okay, yes, it does. My next question is, how important is planning before starting a business?
Huge. Like, really huge. It's not about needing a 50-page business plan, but you got to think through stuff, knowing your market, understanding your costs, figuring out how you'll actually make money. That's non negotiable. I think people sometimes get scared of planning because it feels restrictive, but it's actually the opposite. Gives you a framework, a roadmap. Doesn't mean you can't deviate, but you need to know where you're starting from. Do you consider yourself a planner or more of a jump in and figure it out type?
I think I consider myself as a planner. Like I do not plan like everything, but I like the basic research or basic planning that you need to do when you're starting for something. So I do count myself maybe 50% a planner. My next question is, what role does research play in avoiding mistakes?
50-50 sounds sensible. It's good to be adaptable. As for research, it's everything, honestly. It's the difference between throwing spaghetti at the wall and actually having a strategy. Gotta know who your competitors are, what your customers want, what the industry trends are. It's not just about Googling stuff, though. Talk to people, get feedback, validate your ideas before you sink a ton of time and money into something that might flop. Do you enjoy the research phase or do you find it tedious?
I do sometimes find it tedious, but keeping in my mind that it is the most important thing to do when you're starting something. Just like you just have to do it, even if you like it or you don't like it. As you said as well, that without researching, most of the companies flop, like they don't work because they don't have the complete idea or the product they want to sell, and they don't know about the market trends. So researching definitely plays a really big role. So I do find myself researching if I'm doing a certain project or something. So my next question is, why do many entrepreneurs underestimate competition?
That's a really good point. It's a tough slog, but knowing it's essential helps push you through. And you're spot on about companies flopping due to lack of research. As for underestimating the competition, I think it's a few things. Often people are really excited about their idea and they overestimate how unique it is. They fall in love with the solution, not the problem. They also get blinded by their own assumptions. Like, my idea is better, so people will choose mine, which rarely works that way. It takes real work to honestly assess what else is out there and figure out how to differentiate yourself. Do you think you've ever underestimated competition on a project?
I don't think so. I have, because as I said earlier, I'm kind of a person who likes to do planning and researching. So for me, I don't think I'm not a big. I am a big competitor. So I never underestimate the competition. So my next question is, what financial mistakes do new entrepreneur often make?
Okay, good on you for being realistic about that. It's smart to go unprepared. All right, financial mistakes. Where do I even begin? Okay, mixing personal and business finances is a big one. Creates a nightmare for accounting. Another common mistake is not pricing your product or service correctly. Undercharging to get customers is a race to the bottom. And then there's the classic not tracking expenses closely enough. You gotta know where your money's going. Are you a numbers person or does that stuff stress you out?
I guess numbers do stress me out. Um, I don't know, like detailed planning or something do stress me out actually. My next question is, why is overspending a common issue for startups?
Oh, you're definitely not alone there. Most people don't exactly jump for joy at spreadsheets. As for overspending, it's tempting, right? You finally have some money coming in. You want to invest in everything all at once, fancy office space, expensive marketing campaigns, all the latest gadgets. But startups are all about being lean. Every dollar counts. And I think a lot of it comes down to a lack of realistic budgeting. People overestimate revenue and underestimate expenses. It's easy to get carried away with the growth mindset without keeping a firm grip on the finances. Have you ever had a moment where you thought, oh, I deserve this, and then regretted a purchase later?
I cannot recall anything right now. My next question is, how dangerous is mixing personal and business finances?
Super dangerous. Like, potentially ruin your life. Dangerous. Legally, it can blur the lines of liability, making you personally responsible for business debts. Practically, it makes accounting a total disaster. Trying to sort out business expenses from personal ones is a nightmare for taxes. It also makes it really hard to get accurate financial statements, so you have no real idea of how your business is actually performing. It's just messy. Really, really messy. Have you ever thought about how you would separate your finances if you were to start a business?
I don't think so. I have really thought about it, but now discussing it right now, I feel like the budget should be quite different. Like they should be separated, and also as you said, like if the spending is same with your like the personal finances and the business finances, it will be really hard to figure out where are you spending and where most of your money is going, and also to see the progress of the business running. So my next question is, why do some businesses owners ignore budgeting?
Exactly. You've got it. It's about clarity, control, and protecting yourself. And yeah, separating those finances is crucial. Okay, so why ignore budgeting? I think it boils down to a few things. Some people find it tedious and boring, like we talked about with the numbers. Others think it's restrictive, that it stifles creativity. They want to be able to spend as needed without having to justify it. And some just have a really optimistic view of things and assume they'll make enough money to cover everything. It's kind of like thinking you can live on air. What's your biggest hurdle with budgeting personally?
For me, I do like budgeting, like make sure like how much money do I have and how I can spend it. And I am not really good with budgeting, but I try my best. And the one thing that I struggle with is maybe keeping up with the plan. Maybe sometimes it happens that you do have a plan about budgeting and you're following a schedule, but sometimes you just slip. So being consistent with it is something I do struggle with. My next question is, what happens if a business runs without a financial plan?
That's really honest. Most people struggle with consistency. It's about building a habit, and those take time. Okay, a business running without a financial plan, it's basically flying blind. You're just hoping for the best, and hoping is not a strategy. You won't know if you're making a profit, where your money's going, or if you can afford to invest in growth. You're basically setting yourself up for a crisis. It's like driving a car without a dashboard. You have no idea how fast you're going, if the engine's overheating, or if you're about to run out of gas. It almost always ends in a crash. Have you ever seen a small business that seemed to be winging it financially? What happened to them?
No, I don't think so. I have. My next question is, how do new businesses fare in marketing?
Ah, marketing. Another minefield. So many ways to mess that up. I see a lot of new businesses throwing money at ads without really knowing their target audience or trying to be everywhere at once. Social media, Google ads, print ads, without a clear strategy. Another big one is not tracking their results. You got to know what's working and what's not. And then there's neglecting content marketing. People want valuable information, not just constant sales pitches. Do you find marketing intimidating or are you pretty comfortable with it?
I think so. It's kind of a fun thing to understand the audience, and of course, it do take some time, maybe months or weeks, to understand the audience you want to target. And but I believe marketing is a really crucial to learn, and it's really important for our business to understand their audience and make sure that the content that is going to them or on social media is quite relatable and interesting, that attracts the audience. And as you mentioned, that only images, photos might get people bored of it. And but like content marketing nowadays, it is really common and it's also like used widely. And I believe that people usually prefer content marketing rather than just watching the pictures. They prefer videos, or fun videos, or maybe informative kind of videos. But like they prefer visuals, movements more than the pictures. So I believe that marketing is really really important, and it is fun. Like if you learn it, it's kind of fun. My next question is, why is it a mistake to ignore customers' feedback?
Wow, you clearly have a good handle on marketing. You're right. It's not just about pretty pictures, it's about connecting with people. Man, you're spot on about video content being king these days. Okay, so ignoring customer feedback, that's a massive mistake. Your customers are telling you what they want, what they like, and what they don't like. If you're not listening, you're essentially building something in a vacuum. You'll end up with a product or service that nobody needs or wants. Plus, it sends the message that you don't care about their opinions, which is a great way to lose customers. Do you actively seek out feedback when you're working on a project, or do you tend to avoid it?
I do actively seek out to feedbacks. I don't really like adapt all the feedbacks I'm getting, but I just like to hear other people's thought on something that I'm working on. I think so. It makes things really easy, and also it makes me more like um, it makes me more me to believe in what I'm doing. And in case of customers feedback, I think so it plays a really big role, because without customers there is no company. So every company needs a customer, every product needs a customer. So building that strong relationship with the customers is very very important. And if we are just ignoring their feedbacks, the impression will not go well, and of course we will lose our good customers, because we always gain feedbacks. I believe we always get feedback from the people that want us to be better. So maybe I might be wrong, but that's what I think. So my next question is, how does poor branding hurt a new business?
That's a really thoughtful answer. You're absolutely right. Not every piece of feedback is gold, but it's valuable to hear different perspectives. And you're spot on about the customer relationship being crucial. Okay, poor branding. It's like showing up to a party in sweatpants when everyone else is dressed to impress. It hurts your credibility, makes it harder to stand out, and confuses potential customers. If your branding isn't clear and consistent, people won't know what you stand for. They won't remember you, and they won't trust you. It's a long game, but branding is everything. Do you pay much attention to branding when you're choosing a product or service yourself?
I do. I think I do. My next question is, why do some owners focuses on selling instead of building relationships?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it comes down to short term thinking. Selling gets you immediate revenue, right? Building relationships takes time and effort, and it's not always directly tied to sales numbers. Some owners are just chasing quick wins. They see customers as transactions, not as people. And honestly, a lot of them haven't learned the power of customer loyalty. A repeat customer is way more valuable than a one time buyer. Do you think there's pressure to prioritize sales, especially in the beginning?
And I think
Hey
there
there.
is.
Everything on that.
Like, like when you're starting a new business, you definitely need some profit, or you need orders and you need to earn. So in like the few months or few weeks, if you're not getting any profit or saving any money, of course it can lose a lot of your like hope and motivation. So I believe in the starting, sales are important, but with the passage of time you can definitely build your connections with the customers better. So my next question is, what are the risks of not understanding the target audience?
That's a really fair point. Gotta eat, right? Sales are crucial in the beginning, but you're absolutely right. Relationships are the long game. Okay. Risks of not understanding your target audience. Where do we start? You end up with a product or service nobody wants. You waste money on marketing that doesn't resonate. You misallocate your resources. You essentially build something in the dark. It's like shouting into a void. Have you ever encountered a business that clearly didn't understand its audience? What was the result?
I don't think so. I have encountered any yet. My next question is, what hiring mistakes do new businesses owner make?
Okay, fair enough. Hiring another potential disaster zone. One of the biggest mistakes is rushing the process. New business owners are often desperate to fill positions, so they hire the first qualified person who comes along. Another is hiring people who are a cultural fit, but not necessarily skilled for the job. Skills can be taught, personality, not so much. And then there's underestimating the cost of hiring. It's not just the salary, it's the benefits, training, and the time it takes to onboard someone. Do you enjoy the hiring process or do you dread it?
I do not have any experience in it, so I have no idea. But I think so. I will enjoy it maybe in the future. My next question is, how
That's fair.
important is dedication in avoiding burnout?
Super important, like critically important. Burnout is a real threat, especially for entrepreneurs who are wearing all the hats. Dedication, in this case, isn't about working yourself to the bone. It's about being dedicated to protecting your own well being, setting boundaries, taking breaks, delegating tasks when possible, and remembering why you started in the first place. It's about sustainable effort, not frantic scrambling. Do you have any strategies for avoiding burnout yourself?
For me, I'm not really into business right now or doing any business, but I do feel like when you're working alone as an entrepreneur, it's as you said, like wearing all the hats. It's kind of a hectic job. Because like marketing, branding, you are doing everything, product hunting, then like um, everything, managing every single thing. So it definitely lead to burnout because it might seem to be a really easy, even if we talk about like digital marketing or e-commerce marketing, it does feel really easy. That is a simple thing. You're just running an ad and orders are coming and you're just shipping them and that's it. But it's not like that. In the back end you have to do a lot of work, and if you're doing it alone, of course you need a lot of energy, you need a lot of patience, energy, and if you are, especially if you're not getting any results, now that's a very big thing, I guess. Mm, like people don't really handle it, so it's hard for them to. That isn't just the fact they're doing a lot of efforts but they're not getting anything in return. So my next question is, why do some owners try to do everything by themselves?
You nailed it. It looks deceptively easy from the outside, but it's a ton of work. And the lack of immediate results is a huge drain. Okay, why do some owners try to do everything themselves? A lot of it comes down to control. They think if they want something done right, they have to do it themselves. Others are afraid of the cost of hiring. And some are just stubborn. They don't want to ask for help. It's a pride thing. Do you think you'd struggle with letting go of control if you were running a business?
I think maybe because I'm also a kind of a person who likes to do everything alone, and then I start alone, and then I feel drained out, and feel like I should ask them help. So I think so. Like giving someone the ownership of something is it is hard. Like giving every like charge of some field to a single person, but that's where trust helps. Like if you are working with a person you definitely trust, that would be not really hard for you. But like if you're working in a team you're not quite familiar with, or you don't like, or maybe they don't just vibe with you, maybe, so that's kind of hard. That's why maybe some owners tend to do everything by themselves. And the next factor is also maybe pride, because like people like to take appreciation by themselves. Like if they are working, they want everyone to appreciate themselves rather than saying that many people work on a single project. So maybe it can be a thing.
That's incredibly insightful, Faba. You've hit on some really key points: the control thing, the trust factor, even the ego aspect. It's a complex mix. And you're right, delegating requires trust, and building that trust takes time. Okay, one more question. For now, what's the danger of not having a mentor or advisor when starting a business?
Oh, I think so. Guidance is really important. I've seen people who are working without any mentor. But guidance is something that is important. Like you should know what you're doing, and if you get something, if you're in a trouble, if you don't know what to do, you can ask. You should have an accountable partner or someone to get help from. But mentorship it is quite important. At the same time, being someone with whom you are inspired, and a person who guides you throughout your journey. Of course, it's really helpful.
Absolutely. It's about having someone who's been there, done that, and can offer a reality check when you need it. someone to help you avoid the predictable pitfalls. It's a huge. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. Do you want to keep going, or are you good for now?
Yes, the time of the conversation is over. It was amazing to have a chat with you. Goodbye.
Oh, all right. Well, it was genuinely great chatting with you too, Faba. You asked really thoughtful questions, and you clearly put a lot of consideration into this topic. Have a good one.
Okay, everyone. So this was for the conversation. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you in my another live. Till then, Allah Hafiz and goodbye.